What's up, you guys? Zoeb here for OneGlanceTrader.com, and in this video I'll be sharing with you one of my best Forex trading strategies for you to start earning a consistent trading income. And if you guys like the sound of that, all I ask in return is that you smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon. Now, there's two things I look at when trying to build a trading strategy. The first one is high probable setups. We don't want to trade setups that don't look right from a technical perspective and also potentially from a fundamental perspective as well. But overall, I'm looking for a confluence, i.e. a number of technical indicators to line up to give me the highest probable outcome for a positive trade. And then the second one is reward to risk. Now, the minimum reward to risk that I go for is a 1-to-1, and I look to get above a 50% win rate. So therefore, over the long run, I become profitable. And I'll show you in this video, in this particular chart example, of how you can try to identify take profit levels and then set your stop losses in the most efficient way. Because what a lot of people do is first look at where am I going to put my stop, whereas I actually look at it the other way and say where am I going to put my take profit. Instead of where price is likely to stop you out if you're going to be wrong, have a think about where your profit target needs to be for you likely to be right. So if you think about it in that mindset, it actually puts less pressure on you in terms of your trading. And we'll go through that in this particular example. Now, I go through a very similar strategy in my missed pivots rollover strategy. So this is a fundamentals pivot based strategy in terms of the reason for coming to the charts, and it is a counter trend kind of move. So in this example, what I've got is the USD JPY 30-minute chart, and this is kind of live data over the last 5 minutes from when I started recording this video, and it's quite a relevant live example of these types of trades. And again, if you watch my missed pivot strategy videos, this outcome or this setup occurs all the time across multiple time frames, and I think it's a really good one to have a look at. And there's key things that I look for, which I'm going to list out in this video for you to kind of look at and try to give you some step-by-step instructions of what it is that you need to do. So the first thing is let's just quickly go through the indicators that I've got on the screen. So the first one obviously is the OGT pivots indicator, and all these indicators that I mentioned are absolutely free. Link is down below, and there'll be tutorial videos in the description or in the top right corner if you want to learn more about the settings and all that kind of good stuff. But for now, is what I've got here is I've got the pivot indicator. So this is showing daily pivots for the 30-minute chart, and the reason why we're looking at daily pivots is for when pivots are not hit, i.e. missed, and we'll go into that inside a second. The second one is the OGT round numbers indicator, and all this is it draws horizontal lines at key round number levels, either the 100 or the 500 level, as you can see by these blue dashed lines. The third one is the OGT price action indicator. It was the first ever indicator I made and is probably still the most popular indicator. And what it has 5 price patterns included. And the one, you can see this here for this pin bar that is showing over here with the number 29. And we'll talk about that 29 very shortly. But that's what it does. It looks at Japanese candlesticks, and it looks at certain criterias across 5 different patterns, and if those patterns form, it then prints it on the chart. The next one are these blue lines. So these are exponential moving averages. They are a set number. Again, the actual periods will be inside the description. It just gives me a view on the strength of a trend that is currently going in my decision-making process. And then the last one is the MACD linear weighted moving average. And again, I purely use this from a divergence perspective. And again, we'll talk about that when that section arises. So those are the indicators that I've got on my screen. So the first step is you need to identify a trend. And a trend could be on a 30-minute, 1 hour daily. It doesn't matter as long as you have a trend. And the criteria that you need to determine a trend is 2 missed pivots. So at a minimum. So you can see over here we've got 1 missed pivot and 2 missed pivot there. So that is, for me, is when I see that, I'm getting ready now for when a potential reversal. So I'm looking for a short trade here to go to the downside. Not to say I do that as soon as the missed pivot comes in, but that is what I'm looking for, because there could be another day where there could be another missed pivot, etc., etc. So what we're doing here at the moment is identifying a minimum of 2 missed pivots. So once you've identified 2 missed pivots, the next step is you are waiting for price to close or touch its daily pivot. So you can see over here that day 1 missed, day 2 missed, and on day 3 we got a touch of the daily pivot. Now as long as that daily pivot is touched, there now is the time where you need to start using these indicators to identify, is this a pullback in the long-term trend, or is this a potential exhaustion of the trend where the trend might end up ranging or potentially start reversing, as you kind of see here from a hindsight perspective. So step 1, you're looking for a minimum of 2 missed pivots. Step 2 is when you get to 2 missed pivots, you wait until price touches or closes below its daily pivot, which it has there. So then what we're looking at 4 things. There's 4 criteria that I look at, and this is more of a yes or no type of answer. The first one is, are we seeing contraction or convergence with the blue EMAs? So we can see here when price closes over here, you can still see that these EMAs are quite fanned out, and the more that they're fanned out, the stronger the potential trend is. Now you can see as time goes on, the EMAs start contracting together, but at this point of the trade, I don't see that at the moment. So at the moment, the way I score this is basically a no. So it's still showing to me that the EMAs are showing that the trend is still intact, and the price could just bounce off this. Bounce off this. Oh, I've got this one on here. It could bounce off this and then continue to go up. So that to me currently is a no. The next thing that I look at is divergence. So in this example, we are looking for bearish divergence. So bearish divergence is where price is making higher highs, and your oscillator, in this case the MACD, is making lower highs. So what that is telling us is that there is a strong indication or a disagreement between price and the oscillator, and therefore there is a potential chance for price to reverse. So at this stage, all I'm doing is a yes or a no. So at the moment, if I write this over here, we've got EMAs, apologies for my writing, is no, and then we've got what was the one that we were just looking at there? Sorry, just like, yeah, divergence. Divergence is a yes. So we've got a yes there. And then the third one is that we're going to be looking at is support and resistance. So again, support and resistance, I look at round number levels, and you can clearly see over here that we've had 1 touch and 2 touch at this 100 level here. So in my view, this is providing as a strong resistance level, and you could also see here that this has formed a double top at this play over here. So this for me is a big yes. So far we've got 1 no and 2 yeses. And then the last one I look at is anything coming up on the price action indicator. And what we've got over here is we have got what's called a bearish pin bar. And a bearish pin bar, as the name suggests, is a bearish strategy that price tried to get up higher, but then the bears came in and pushed price down, and the body is on the lower end of the candle with a big tail. And what this 29 means, if I can get the right thing here, is what the 29 means is basically saying that price last touched the top of the wick 29 bars ago on the current time frame. So the top third or the top element of the wick was last seen, um, 29 bars ago, if I can do that, which is this bar over here. So you can see here that top of the wick is touching there. So if you count back from there to there, gets you to your 29 bars. So again, the bigger the number, the better, because that's showing where price hasn't been there for a very long time. And it's for the current time frame. So it'll be 29 times by 30 minutes, whatever that kind of looks like. That's how long price hasn't been there for. So in our case, we know that it was the middle of yesterday was the last time price was at that level. And so then we've got the price action indicator, which again is a yes. So we've got bearish divergence. We've got a strong resistance level here. We've got a bearish pin bar. The only thing we don't have is the EMAs aligning. But for me, if I had all of them aligning, this then takes you into how much you want to risk for each trade. And I've talked about this a number of times on my channel, is that I want to get into this trade. So 4 out of 5 yeses are good enough for my book. And let's just say that my highest risk tolerance is 2% for any trade. And I set my own rules that if I get a 5 out of 5, I go 2%. If I get a 4 out of 5, I go 1.5% or whatever it may be. So I wouldn't put my full risk on for my max ever trade. I would put just below it. So let's just say I went for 1.5% of my account as a total risk of this potential trade. Then what did I say earlier on? I said earlier on the next step is to identify where price can go before before setting your stop loss, to see if your stop losses can be put in a logical place. Now there are two places where I like to look at from a take profit and a stop loss perspective. From a take profit perspective, I like to look at missed pivot levels. So what I'm saying here is that price likes to go back and fill the gap of a missed pivot level. And I can't remember the stat now when I did it at the time of the video, but it's something like, in the high 90% of where, over the last like 5 years, the number of daily pivots missed. It's like, it's not that many of them. It's like, it's kind of a handful of them. So, over time, price likes to get back to its level, and majority of the time, it likes to do it relatively quickly. There are some where it will continue trending up and take like a few weeks, maybe a couple of months to hit that missed pivot. But with all these other resistance levels and all the other technical features that we looked at over here, where I'm looking at for a take profit target is the pivot level. So if we say that, so the first one is this pivot level over here as a potential profit target. The second one would be the round numbers level, because that is the natural support and resistance of where price wants to go in between these kind of round number levels. So the fact that the missed pivot is before the round number level, the missed pivot level would be the point of my take profit. So then what I would do is, let's just say I'm around this area over here. I would measure the distance between then and there. And what I'm looking for is then, if I'm going for at least a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1 or whatever that may be, we all know logically, if I asked you guys where would you put your stop loss, you would say above these highs here. So what I would do here is calculate the distance between here and here, and what is the minimum I can get away with from a stop loss here. Just looking at this, eyeballing it, it looks like about a 1-to-1. and I would, adjust my stop loss accordingly to kind of make it and fit it into a one-to-one trade. Now there could be an opportunity where it could be a 2-to-1 or something on those lines, but a 1-to-1 is the minimum you need to go for. And that's how you would kind of do this trade. You'll put the trade in, and then obviously we had some pullbacks here back to this support level or back to this resistance level, and then price continued to go all the way down, not only to its pivot level but also to the round number level where currently price is right now. So that is how I trade this strategy. And I know I said it's an easy strategy, and I know this takes time to kind of learn, but if you just practice putting up the missed pivots indicator, it's absolutely free. There's a version of it on TradingView as well. I think it's called the daily pivot points indicator from memory. Have a look at that and just go back and back test and just look on where you've seen 2 missed pivots or more, and then you actually get a pivot, and then just benchmark it against the EMAs, the divergence, the round numbers, or is there any price action kind of movement. And again, I'll link to all of these inside the description so you've got all of that information, and then look to see as a missed pivot as your target number 1, or if a round number level is before the missed pivot, use that as your number 1 take profit target, and then measure that distance and then measure it, because when you trade this strategy, the highs or the lows will be your stop loss criteria. So that is everything I wanted to share with you today. Inside the thumbnails, you can see now we have got the missed pivot strategy, which goes into a number of examples, some live examples as well. So I'll put all that on the screen so you guys can check those ones out. If you've got any questions, comment down below, and I shall see you guys in the next video.